Today is a new day. And today is a great day. Every single day that is sunny, that we are alive, it's an amazing day. What does this sound like? It's a coping mechanism for the market moving in your desired direction, but just before tagging you out, which is fine. So let's quickly break down what I was looking for today. I was looking at today with very, very high intense of longing. Market is looking amazing, looking for that bullishness, and what we see right after, market comes towards the daily order block and then moves to the upside. Same thing on the 4 hour, very strong move to the downside, 4 hour fair value gap, and the market moves higher. Beautiful, sweeps the 4 hour low, moves higher. This looks amazing to go towards these highs, by the way. It looks very, very much ready to go towards those highs. By the way, if you want to see an exclusive trade recap that I will not be talking about here on YouTube, then check the first link in the description. It's for the live training that I'm going to do on the 20th of January. And once you join, once you save your seat for the live training, you will also get access to the Telegram. It's going to be in the right next page. So with that, I'll see you there and let's continue with the trade recap. And on the 1 hour, we can see that before the market moved lower, before the market is starting to move higher as forecasted, it moved all the way towards that fair value gap. Now, if we quickly check the 15-minute, I entered in two positions today. One of them was at 11 a.m. and one of them, it was a little bit after 11 a.m. Let me see exactly what time it was. It was 11:10 a.m. This is when I entered in one of the positions. And the first position was at 9:50. Let me tell you exactly at what time it was. It was at 9:54. So let's break down this trade today. And by the way, why am I breaking down these trades? Winners, losers. I always told you that if there is no main video, which is on Mondays and Thursdays, then there's going to be a trade recap if I take any trades. And very clearly, we can see that the market sweeps the low right there at market open, sweeps the low and starts reacting bullish. But I knew like we had CPI. We had a very strong CPI. And so there is the chance that the market manipulates further before moving higher. And so I was looking at the 5-minute chart and I was seeing that this is looking very, very good. We had the very strong market shift on the 5-minute. But I wanted to wait for confirmation. What confirmation was that? I wanted to see the market coming lower towards the extreme and then moving higher. So basically it's a confirmation on the 5-minute, but entering on the 1-minute. Why? Because I wanted to see the manipulation being over and then the reversal. That is exactly what happened. Manipulation to the 15-minute order block, by the way, 15-minute fair value gap too. And then we have the strong move higher. At the time of entry, if I quickly show you exactly how the 5-minute looked like, and this will pretty much explain why I was so interested in this specific trade. At this exact point, the 5-minute was looking like this. So this is the open of the 5-minute candle. We push this towards the low and we put a candle body bullish right there. So at this point, at this exact point where I entered in the position, this is what the 5-minute was looking like. Let me quickly add a wick up there. This is exactly what the 5-minute was looking like. And there was 1 more minute until the 5-minute close. And so my expectation was that we're going to have this next minute expanding. And by the way, that's why I entered as soon as the market, as soon as the previous candle opened. And I was expecting to see the 5-minute closing somewhere in the lines of this. Very, very bullish. The 15-minute would look amazing because it would close all the way up here too. It would look very, very good. Power of 3, everything. And in this case, it was simply one of those where the market didn't play out. And that is it in terms of breakdown of this trade. As soon as I entered, the market starts moving lower and I start saying, listen, it's struggling to move higher. Like I see the market trying and failing. And so even though we were at about 50% drawdown, a little bit less than 50% drawdown, I was already saying this is very, very likely to be a loss, but I'm not here trying to outsmart the market. I entered any specific position and I just let it go and I managed the trade once it goes into profit, because locking in minus 0.5 or taking a -1, it really doesn't make a difference over the long term. And so afterwards, the market started to move lower and I said, okay, guess we are moving towards the 1 hour order block, right? So right there, let me quickly go here. To the 1 hour fair value gap and order block. What happens right after is we start moving and I start saying, listen, the only way that I will enter in this position is if we have a very strong 5-minute reversal and I want to see continuation. So if I quickly go to the Discord, here it is. So if I quickly go onto the Discord, we have starting to see the reaction from the key level. I'd like to see a very strong 15-minute close. This 15-minute close also is the 1 hour close. And then I said I would like to see this, where the market moves lower, higher, and I will enter after we have the continuation. So this is where just took the risk on the continuation trade right here, took the screenshot at the entry while the market is on the, well, as I said, high, low, high, close above, creates the order block. And then, so let me quickly put that here, high, then at the order block, that is my entry. The market moves higher. And my thought process was, okay, at this specific point, the 1 hour is looking bullish, but it is at a 1 hour order block. So if the market is bearish, this is where it's going to react from, and it's going to react quick. The bearishness is going to be very, very quick to be priced into the market. And so I said, okay, if that is the case, if I believe that this is the low of the market, if this is the low of the 1 hour, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to manage below that 1 hour low. And so right there, well, that was a little, TradingView is trash for this, but I moved the stops based on the 1 hour low. And then a little bit after, we had a very, very massive wick. I personally, I don't know what this was. And then the market fully moves. Now, usually the question that I get is, well, Kimmel, you should not have moved your stops. To which I fully disagree, because everything was very intentional. I knew exactly why I was moving my stops. I knew the risks that I was taking, but I knew exactly why I was moving my stops. And this was something that I've planned before. Let me quickly even show you. On the Discord, I say we have 2 strong 5-minute closes and we have strong manipulation to the higher time frame key level. We'll be more aggressive with the management and I'll keep you posted. And then I said, move my stop loss to minus 0.3. What's the idea? If the market is to move, it moves in this 1 hour candle. Exactly what happened. And this 1 hour candle shouldn't be moving bearish anymore, especially if the market is bullish. It should not be reacting from 1 hour bearish PD arrays, which we are in right now. Again, we have an order block right here. So we should not be reacting off of it. So it either moves or I am out and I won't be in anymore. Well, I just said the same thing twice. And then I said, this is why. So this was when I was tagged out. At one point, listen, the market was all the way down here. And if I was to just show you that screenshot, you'd be like, yeah, that trade does not look good. And then I said, because someone asked me, did I close too early? Here's the thing. The whole process was explained in the thought process of moving aggressively. The market did what I expected it to do in this 11 a.m. candle, but it had a massive wick that ended up tagging me out. Just like I would have tagged me out for -1 and would have been a -2 R day, and I was aware of that risk, but I wanted to minimize it. Because here's the thing. A lot of traders look at this and they say, oh, that was the wrong management. I dare to disagree because we don't know how low this wick could have gone. What if this would have gone all the way down here and this would have been a full stop instead of being a -0.3? Because people always think in hindsight and they think, oh, well, this was the wrong decision. Well, in hindsight, it was the wrong decision. Because imagine that on this specific occasion, I would have closed here. It would have been the right decision, yet managing here, but not managing here was the right decision. So at the end of the day, it's You are supposed to make a calculated guess on what you believe is going to happen. And it should be as unemotional as possible. So with this, I look at this sort of price action and I think the market has to go, just like it did right after tagging me out. So I just expected this to happen here without the wick. That's all. It just happened after the wick. So the whole process was correct. It's just that the management, the market tagged me out for my management. And that is fine. Because again, this will pay you over the long term. Like if you expand the time frame at which you are judging your trading decisions, this will pay you. In headache, maybe in R, maybe in money. Now, with that being said, that is the breakdown for today. I'm not trading anymore. By the way, I have another trade that I have running that I don't want to talk about on YouTube. So I'm going to be doing it on the Telegram. Just make sure to check the first link in the description. It's for my live training that I'm going to be doing on the 20th of January. And it is going to be about getting you funded in 90 days. Once you join, you get access to the Telegram. And then this is where I'm going to do the trade recap on this trade that I just showed you, which is still running, by the way. I might close it soon because this was a trade that I took yesterday. It's running very, very nicely. So with that, make sure to join with the first link in the description. Check out Funded Next, which is the best prop firm as of now. And I will see you very, very soon.